the Mahāparinibbāna Sutta, also known as the Great Discourse on the Final Emancipation, is one of the most significant and revered discourses in the Pali Canon of Theravada Buddhism. This sutta is found in the Digha Nikaya Long Discourses, and is considered the final teaching given by the Buddha before his passing into Parinibbāna, final liberation, at the age of 80. The Mahāparinibbāna Sutta is a comprehensive discourse that covers various aspects of the Buddha's life, teachings, and final days. It contains important teachings on impermanence, the nature of existence, the nature of the Dharma, the Buddha's teachings, and the importance of practicing diligently to attain liberation. Key aspects of the Mahāparinibbāna Sutta. The final journey of the Buddha is a profound and moving account of the events leading up to the Buddha's passing into Parinibbāna, final liberation. This journey took place in the year 483 BCE, when the Buddha was 80 years old. Here is a summarized version of the story. The Buddha, after spending 45 years of teaching and spreading the Dharma, felt that his time on earth was coming to an end. He decided to undertake his final journey to the city of Kusinara, modern-day Kushinagar in the Malla Kingdom, a significant political and economic center in ancient India. Accompanied by a group of devoted monks, the Buddha traveled from Rayagaha to Vaisali, where he stayed for a while. He used this time to give important teachings to his disciples, emphasizing the impermanence of all things and the necessity of diligently practicing the Dharma to attain liberation. Continuing on his journey, the Buddha reached the city of Pava. There, he was offered a meal of Sukaramadava, a type of mushroom, by a humble blacksmith named Kunda. The Buddha graciously accepted the meal and felt that it would not harm him. However, the mushroom turned out to be contaminated, and the Buddha fell seriously ill as a result. Despite his illness, the Buddha decided to proceed to Kusinara, not wanting to change his final destination. The group of monks continued with him, and they reached the village of Beluva, where the Buddha rested under the shade of a tree. At this time, Ananda, the Buddha's devoted attendant, expressed concern about the Buddha's well-being and suggested that he rest or seek medical attention. The Buddha, however, reminded Ananda that he had already announced his approaching final nirvana at Kusinara, and it was not suitable to change the plan. The Buddha continued his journey, and as he approached Kusinara, he became increasingly weak. He asked Ananda to prepare a bed for him between two sal trees in a grove called the Mala's Sal Grove. With the Mala's permission, the Buddha laid down on his right side in a meditative posture, entered the state of jhana. The attainment of Parinibbāna, or final nirvana, is the ultimate liberation and passing away of an enlightened being, marking the end of the cycle of birth and death samsara. In the context of the Buddha's life, the Mahāparinibbāna Sutta provides a detailed account of the Buddha's final moments, leading to his attainment of Parinibbāna. In preparation for his final liberation, the Buddha entered the meditative state of jhana, a deep state of concentration and tranquility. It is said that he entered for successive jhanas, followed by the cessation of perception and feeling Nirodha Samapatti. Nirodha Samapatti, also known as the attainment of cessation, or cessation of perception and feeling, is a profound meditative state reached by advanced practitioners in certain Buddhist traditions. It is one of the highest states of absorption jhana and concentration samadhi that can be attained through intensive meditation practice. In this meditative state, all mental activity, including perception and feeling, comes to a complete cessation. It is the temporary suspension of consciousness, and the entire range of mental and sensory experiences. The mind remains in a state of profound stillness and non-reactivity. Before entering Nirodha Samapatti, the meditator must first attain a high level of concentration with access concentration. Nirodha Samapatti is a temporary state. During this time, The meditator is completely oblivious to the external world and experiences a profound state of peace and tranquility. When the meditator emerges from Nirodha Samapatti, they regain ordinary consciousness and mental activity. Nirodha Samapatti is considered a rare and advanced meditative attainment. It is not the final goal of Buddhist practice, but serves as a significant stepping stone for advanced meditators on the path to enlightenment. The gradual development of concentration, mindfulness, and wisdom through the practice of the Eightfold Path is essential before one can approach such profound meditative experiences. While in the Nirodha Samapatti, the Buddha passed through the stages of cessation and emerged from it, attaining Parinibbāna. It is said that he took his last breath during this process. The Buddha's passing into Parinibbāna was described as calm, serene, and free from distress. There were no signs of physical pain or discomfort, and his mind was completely liberated from all defilements. The reaction of devotees. The news of the Buddha's Parinibbāna spread, and his devoted disciples, both monastics and lay followers, gathered to pay their respects. Celestial beings and deities from various realms also came to witness the momentous event. The funeral of the Buddha, also known as the Parinibbāna ceremony, took place after his passing into Parinibbāna final liberation. In the town of Kusinara, modern-day Kushinagar, India, the funeral was a significant event, attended by a large number of grieving disciples and devoted followers, who came to pay their final respects to the Buddha. Cremation. After the Buddha's passing into Parinibbāna, his body was placed on a funeral pyre made of sandalwood and other fragrant woods. The Mallas, the local rulers of Kusinara, were responsible for organizing the funeral rites and cremation. Division of relics. Before the cremation, the Buddha's body was carefully prepared. It is said that the Mallas initially planned to cremate the entire body, but there was a dispute among the various clans about who would get the ashes and relics. To avoid conflict, the Venerable Subodha suggested dividing the relics into 8 portions. Distribution of relics. The relics were distributed among 8 representatives of different clans. Each representative took a portion of the relics and returned to their respective kingdoms or cities. They enshrined the relics in stupas, which became objects of veneration for Buddhists. Honoring the relics, the distribution of the relics, and the enshrinement in stupas were significant events in various regions. The stupas became important pilgrimage sites for Buddhists, and many of them still exist today as important historical and religious monuments. Grief and devotion. The Buddha's passing was a moment of great grief for his disciples and followers. Many of them were deeply devoted to the Buddha and felt immense sorrow at his physical departure. The funeral was an opportunity for them to express their love, gratitude, and devotion to their beloved teacher. Respect from other traditions, even though the Buddhist teachings were in opposition to certain traditional beliefs of his time. The Buddha's passing and funeral were respected by people from various religious and philosophical traditions. The importance of his teachings and the profound impact he had on countless lives were acknowledged by many. Legacy. The Buddha's funeral marked the end of his physical presence in the world, but it also marked the beginning of his enduring legacy. His teachings, known as the Dharma, would continue to spread and influence countless generations of people across the world. The last instructions of the Buddha are a set of profound teachings given by the Buddha to his disciples during his final journey to Kusinara. These instructions highlight essential aspects of the Dharma and serve as a guide for his followers after his passing. Impermanence anicca. The Buddha repeatedly emphasized the impermanent nature of all conditioned phenomena. He reminded his disciples that everything in the world, including their own bodies and minds, is subject to change, decay, and death. Understanding impermanence is crucial for gaining insight into the nature of existence. Diligent practice. The Buddha urged his disciples to be diligent and resolute in their practice of the Dharma. He encouraged them to develop mindfulness and wisdom, and to avoid complacency or laziness on their spiritual path. The importance of the four foundations of mindfulness. The Buddha stressed the significance of the four foundations of mindfulness satipatthana as a central practice for cultivating insight and liberation. These foundations involve mindfulness of the body, feelings, mind, and mental objects. By observing these aspects with clear comprehension, one can gain profound insights into the true nature of reality. The role of attachment. The Buddha warned against attachment to the body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. He emphasized the importance of letting go of attachment and clinging to these aggregates, as it leads to suffering and perpetuates the cycle of samsara. The middle way. The Buddha reminded his disciples of the middle way, the path between self-indulgence and self-mortification. He encouraged them to practice moderation in all aspects of life and avoid extreme asceticism or indulgence. Taking refuge in the Dharma. The Buddha encouraged his disciples to take refuge in the Dharma, the teachings he had expounded. By living in accordance with the Dharma, they would find protection and guidance on their spiritual journey. Be a lamp unto yourself. The Buddha urged his disciples to rely on themselves and their own wisdom as their ultimate guide. He said, "Be lamps unto yourselves, be a refuge to yourselves. Hold fast to the truth as a lamp. Hold fast to the truth as a refuge. Look not for a refuge in anyone besides yourselves." The importance of good friendship. The Buddha stressed the significance of good spiritual friendship, Kalyanamitta. The role of a Kalyanamitta is to offer guidance, inspiration, and encouragement to fellow practitioners. They serve as a mentor, advisor, and friend, helping individuals navigate the challenges and obstacles encountered on the spiritual path. A Kalyanamitta is someone who embodies the qualities of wisdom, compassion, and moral integrity. They have a deep understanding of the Buddha's teachings and are committed to their own practice. By embodying these qualities, they can inspire and motivate others to cultivate similar qualities within themselves. The relationship between a practitioner and the Kalyanamitta is based on mutual trust, respect, and a shared commitment to spiritual growth. The Kalyanamitta provides guidance and instruction, offering teachings, meditation techniques, and practical advice to help the practitioner deepen their understanding and practice. They may share their own experiences, insights, and challenges, offering valuable perspectives and reflections. The role of a Kalyanamitta is not limited to formal interactions or structured settings. They can be a spiritual teacher, a fellow practitioner, or even a friend who embodies the qualities of a spiritual friend. The relationship can be formal or informal, depending on the circumstances and the needs of the individuals involved. Having a Kalyanamitta is seen as crucial because the path to awakening is often challenging and can be fraught with difficulties. The presence of a spiritual friend provides a support system, offering guidance and encouragement during times of doubt, confusion, or adversity. They help to keep the practitioner grounded, motivated, and focused on the path. The last instructions of the Buddha offer timeless wisdom and guidance for all practitioners of the Dharma. They highlight the key teachings that form the foundation of Buddhism and encourage individuals to practice diligently, develop insight into the impermanent nature of existence, and walk the path to liberation and enlightenment. These teachings continue to inspire and guide Buddhists around the world in their pursuit of spiritual awakening. The Mahāparinibbāna Sutta is considered one of the most emotional and profound discourses, as it deals with the Buddha's imminent departure from the world. It contains teachings on impermanence, the importance of diligent practice, and the nature of the Dharma as a refuge for all beings seeking liberation. This sutta is highly revered by Buddhists and is often recited and studied as part of their spiritual practice. It serves as a reminder of the impermanence of life and the importance of living in accordance with the Dharma to attain liberation from the cycle of samsara birth and death.